Hey everybody, welcome to the video and welcome to Goodwill. We have a great surprise in this video, but I will tell you, the sourcing or the products here aren't that great. We just grab a few things in this video, but who we run into is, I was kind of in shock. But let's start running through our paces here, keeping to the routine of hitting the glass first and then going down the line, probably down to the purses next. Lots of those Masters of the Universe toys. They're all from Target. They're all brand new. You know, they are in great condition. They do have them priced up. And I don't know. You know, it's not. The profits are just a little bit too thin for me, and they don't really seem to be selling that well. I don't know. Even some of the the loose Master of the Universe. You know, I don't know if it. I haven't looked them up recently, but they don't really go too well, like the original, the vintage ones. And personally, I wasn't really a big Master of the Universe guy when I was younger. But, I mean, if you find anything new in the box carded, of course, it's great. The newer stuff, I just think they're kind of overproducing it. And, you know, those people that already wanted it, already have it, don't really think the new stuff will become, you know, collector's items. They're just producing too much of it. And I don't think it's popular enough right now to, you know, to even make me want to buy any. So, but we're gonna, you know, just quickly scan through the purses. I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again. My storage is for purses. It's going down. I am selling purses, but I still gotta, you know, I gotta sell more purses, make more room. Always gotta have your, you know, you don't want your storage to go out of control. You don't want your, you know, you have a big old pile of stuff that, I mean, it happens. This Conan mug, pretty cool. It is, you know, seems to be kind of rare and probably desirable. Conan O'Brien has a cult following. My sister, if I remember correctly, she's a big Conan fan. My youngest sister, I think she's a pretty big Conan fan. I never really liked Conan fan. I was a Jay Leno guy. I couldn't even get with David Letterman. I mean, I watched his top 10 list, and that would be it. But I was a huge Jay Leno fan. And of course, Johnny Carson before that. And then I didn't really get into Conan. I mean, it wasn't my my jam. And even the newer, you know, the newer guys that kind of took over, you know, I don't really care for those shows at all, and I pretty much don't even watch like TV anymore, except for the only thing I really watch is like Netflix, of course, YouTube. I'll look for a good Netflix series or movie. Ahsoka, the Disney Ahsoka show is out. Star Wars, you know, of course I gotta watch that. Good or, you know, whether it's good or bad, whatever your opinion is, I'm watching it. I like it. I'm actually a bigger, to tell you the truth, I'm actually a bigger Star Trek fan. In Star Trek Next Generation, in my opinion, is just one of the best TV shows of all time. So, I mean, I like the original Star Trek, Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine. I'm a huge fan of Star Trek. I'm just not really a huge fan of Star Trek toys, and probably because I never really had any when I was younger. Okay, all right, we're getting to the electronics section. It's not looking very good. I'll tell you that right now. Things aren't looking good. Not a good day. But we still got to get out there. We're still going to get out there and look and see what we can find. even if it's not a good day, like today, you never know who you're going to run into. But also, just go on what I call like scouting missions. Just kind of like, look up different brands, look up, just try to, increase your knowledge of what's in your area, of other brands that you might not be, you might not be aware of, that might have value or profit that you can list on eBay or wherever, wherever platform. But we primarily focus on eBay on this channel. You always got to check on the back. There could be like random boxes pushed to the back. Internet appeared to be slow today. So, and like I've said, sometimes if you're in a bad internet area, you might want to try, I don't know, the different companies that your ISPs, your internet service providers, if they offer Wi-Fi in your city. But I'm in San Jose, and some of the surrounding cities around San Jose within our county also to offer, Xfinity offers free Wi-Fi. And so sometimes, the signal's good, and, you'll get plugged in. It's not as good as, like 4G or 5G on your phone, but if you can't get one of those connections, a 4G or a 5G, the Xfinity Wi-Fi will be pretty good. That's going to turn out not to be a good buy, just based on the comp seemed okay, but the buy-in cost was too much. These end caps, they're color coordinated. We're going to check out golf clubs. Golf clubs have been doing really well, and I must say, you can probably make a whole business just doing golf clubs. They price them very well at Goodwill. It's usually about $4. I've seen them a little bit higher. I'm grabbing these for my son. This is not for resale. Just some workout push-ups, or I don't know. Maybe you could do some dips with that. I don't know. Might be too short. But you can probably, I can see getting a whole resale business or a whole eBay store around golf clubs. There's plenty of them out there, and they are selling for decent money compared to what, compared to what I can buy them for. So generally about $4, and some of the higher end golf clubs I have right now, they're going for about $40 to $50. The Nikes, I have some, I think they're TaylorMade burners. But I have some generic pings, and those are going for $25 to $30. So it's pretty good profit. The only thing is the boxes that you have to get to ship those out. It's a little over $2 a box. So take that into consideration. And see. I haven't tried to buy golf clubs at the flea market or at garage sales, just at Goodwills, but I might be buying more golf clubs. And once you have the right boxes, let me tell you, they are a piece of cake to ship. This game is an amazing game, Balderdash. If you guys don't know that game, that's the older version right there. We have a couple copies of the older version. We have some of the newer ones. If you guys are looking for a game to play with friends or family, Balderdash is amazing. It's kind of like they give you like a very obscure word, and then everybody has to kind of guess the definition of it, and the game is trying to trick people into hopefully saying that they'll be like, oh, I like that definition, and you want to try to get, that's how you get points, by getting people to your side with a great definition, hopefully. And some of the definitions are really just bizarre in that game. That's the older version, so that has a lot of the older terms and stuff like that, but there are modern takes on that game. But a great game if you're hanging out with friends or family game night. I highly recommend Balderdash. So I got a mug, I got something for my son, some workout equipment there. We're scoping out these end caps. Nothing really that great. We're going down the plates. I don't really buy too many plates, I'll tell you that right now. I don't know if you guys recall, several videos ago, I bought like this Texas plate, and I pretty much got it because it said Texas on it. Had a Longhorn, and I dropped it. I'm like, ugh. I was so annoyed with myself. Like, oh, are you serious right now? I think it was like $2 or so. Resells for about 20 or 25, and I was getting ready to picture it, and I dropped it. As a matter of fact, I dropped some at the Goodwill too recently. That'll be in an upcoming video, and I was so annoyed with myself. It's kind of crazy because I don't really drop things that much, but when I dropped that plate, and I remember I dropped the mug a while ago. It was over my parents' house. It's kind of strange because they take like a first bounce, like with the plate and with the mug. They took like a first bounce, and they seem to be perfectly fine. I'm staring at it, but then the second bounce, it's like, I'm like, what the? Like the first bounce was perfectly fine. The second bounce, it just shattered. I was super annoyed. But we're walking through the wood section, and I don't pick anything up. I don't really see anything that I should even be messing with, even looking anything up. Let me know if you guys saw anything as I quickly jammed through the wood in the bottle section. Let me know if you guys see anything there that I'm missing. I'm not seeing it. I did find a jewelry box a while ago that actually sold for over $100. But haven't found anything since. Either way, guys, this is about the moment. I think he comes down this aisle over here to the left. Ready, Set, Resell on YouTube. I watch his videos as soon as they come out. There he is right there. Cool guy. I got the chance to actually, I turned the corner and actually got the chance to really run into him. We got to chit chat for a little bit. If you guys want to see some really cool finds, if you guys are into vintage toys, 80s toys, 90s toys, I mean, he does a lot of great stuff, a lot of great vintage items, just amazing stuff that he finds. Go check out his channel, Ready, Set, Resale. It was really cool just to run into another reseller, big YouTube channel. I'm a small YouTube channel. He's a big YouTube channel compared to me. But just a really cool guy. It was so cool just to run into him and be able to chat for a little bit. He was here at eBay. Those are some little Federal glass shot glasses. Those are for myself. They're not anything worth that much. But he was here at eBay doing some work with them. And eBay is not very far from this location. You guys seen me pull like eBay employee merch? That's because eBay is right there. So he was there doing that. Really cool. Again, really cool guy. Great channel. I love the stuff he pulls is the stuff I wish I could find here at this Goodwill or at the flea markets. Amazing stuff. Really cool. I was really surprised, really caught off guard. I really don't anticipate, running into anybody at these Goodwills. And he's over from Chicago, so that's really far from San Jose. But I guess it makes sense. eBay is here, and there probably are more creators walking around that I probably don't follow or I'm not aware of. But some Hokas, not really worth it. And I keep moving through here. YouTube itself isn't too far, and YouTube HQ isn't too far from my location either. They're up in San Bruno, which is on the way to San Francisco. And Google was pre-pandemic. Google was supposed to put a huge campus in the downtown area here of San Jose, but as everybody knows, everything got put on hold. So don't know. We'll see. So a lot of tech companies where I'm at. I have worked in tech. I mean, that was one of my, coming out of high school, that was, what I wanted to do and what I focused on. I went to school for it. But, kind of became a little disillusioned after working in the industry for a little bit. It's kind of like you have your hobby and then you turn it into a full-time job. And, you're going in, clocking in, working at a desk, and I don't know. I can't. The older I'm getting, the less, like, I used to think it was cool back when I was younger. It was like, oh man, that is so cool. I can go into an office setting. You get to dress up, I guess. But, I don't know. The older I get, the less I want to sit in a little desk area or check into work. I need more freedom than that. And reselling has really given me a lot of freedom. And to add on to that, eBay is the platform I primarily sell on. So, I do give credit to where credit is due. So we're looking at the jewelry here. I haven't been selling that much jewelry as of late. I mean, keep a lot of jewelry because me and my wife, we both like jewelry. But I see a watch in here. There's a Disney watch, Disney Paris watch. Look at this watch right here, please. The Disney one. And we'll definitely go into a little more details about that. As I go over the stuff I purchased, and then. But nothing too much. Nothing too much. Nothing too great here at the Goodwill for reselling. I mean, the Conan mug is cool. And Disney's always. I said in the video the other day. Disney is a brand to look out for. You got to be cautious though. Not a lot of Disney doesn't sell that. A lot of Disney doesn't sell for that great a profit. So you definitely have to check your comps when you are sourcing Disney. And you want to buy for as low as possible. Buy low, sell high. Some of the best Disney stuff that I've pulled have been from the garage sales and flea markets. Not at Goodwill. They tend to price everything up when they see a Disney logo sign on it. Either way, guys, we're going to go into the recap and then we'll go into the topic for today. Okay, everybody, welcome to the recap, and just, what a cool moment to be able to run into somebody, that I watch on TV, and that, it was kind of cool, just being able to chat with him for a little bit. We didn't get a ton of time, we're both on schedules, and I had kids to pick up, so I'm going through my normal progressions of different Goodwills and filming content for YouTube to bring to you guys. So, really cool guy. I wish I had more time. Wish we could hang out some more. He gets some great items. Go check out his channel, Ready Set Resale. Just vintage toys galore. Amazing stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll get a chance to run into him or somebody else in the future. But we did get some. The haul wasn't very good, and so we got the Conan mug, which like $15 to $20. I think one sold for $15. There's one currently listed for $35. So there's a lot of Conan fans of Conan O'Brien. Me personally, I was a big Jay Leno fan. I think he came on after Jay Leno, and then I know a lot of people were David Letterman fans, which I wasn't. I'm not a huge David Letterman fan. I'd watch the top 10, the top 10 thing, but other than that, it was Jay Leno all the way for me. Johnny Carson before that as well too, for those of you that remember. Johnny Carson. And then the other things here, these are not for resale. Wait, just reverse. You have to look at it kind of like that. If you guys can see the little F in there, There's an F inside a shield. That means this is federal glass. And I do collect these little shot glasses. They're not incredibly valuable. They're not even really worth probably the $2 I paid for them. It was like $1.89 or something like that. But if you find anything at a garage, if you find these at a garage sale, you can get them all lotted up. You know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. You know, they'll go for like $10, $15. I wouldn't pay any more than, you know, if I were to get like a big lot of 4, I'd try to just pay $1 for it. The Goodwill, it was definitely not worth the price that the Goodwill had it at. So, but cool little shot glasses. I collect these. They're going to end up in my little barware collection. And then the Disney watch. Now, upon further review, typically when I buy watches, I'll check them out. I'll make sure the the arms work. You know, the hour. Typically, the batteries are dead, so I'll make sure that the hour and the minute hand work. And usually, it just needs a new battery after that. But in this case, I put the battery in, and the second hand just kind of ticks like this, and it doesn't go around the dial. So I'm gonna lose money on this guy. So well, whatever money I make from the Conan mug will basically be for the watch. So I'll throw it up, something cheap, you know, $5 to $8, and just to get rid of it. But those are the products, and you know, not every you know Goodwill run is going to be a good one. So make sure you have multiple, not just Goodwills or thrift shops or flea markets to get product from. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into the topic for today. And the topic is going to be, are sellers the problem on eBay? This is a reseller channel, and primarily focusing on eBay because that is where most of my sales occur online. So, yeah, my feed on YouTube is just inundated with people that are having issues with sales, and you're gonna hear me say it. You know, probably hear me say it all the time, multiple times. Is that the reason why I'm putting this content out there is to help people make sales, get profitable items up, primarily on eBay, but it could probably work on any other platform. But I sell on eBay. I've been on eBay for a long time, since 1999, I believe, is when I first signed up. So I had my first account that I kind of like, you know, then I used it, and I kind of just didn't, you know, pay attention to it. And at the time, it wasn't like, once you lost it, there was no, like, I don't think there was really any lost your password hyperlink or anything like that. I think lost, it's lost. You have to contact customer service, and that was a nightmare at the time. But either way, things have come such a long way, and there's going to be problems, there's going to be issues. We're always going to encounter glitches. I encountered a glitch just the other day, so it happens. It's going to happen with the territory, but companies like eBay, big companies like Amazon, they're going to get them fixed relatively quickly. There's a lot of other issues that I know I'm watched people have, with issues with the website, issues with search, issues with slow. I don't experience those problems. My background is primarily in computers and IT technology. So one issue with, as far as like slow websites or problems, could be the connection, could be your connection, and this leads to our sellers the problem. So I know I have more of an advanced knowledge of computers, computer networking and all that stuff. So I have a pretty rock solid home network. I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar. Whenever you have a problem with your internet, you call your ISP or your internet service provider, and you're like, hey, I got no internet here. What's going on? The first thing they tell you is, unplug it and plug it back in. And then miraculously, it works. It's like, what the heck? So It's very bizarre. And as a matter of fact, I heard about a device a few years ago come out. Uh, Unfortunately, it didn't get passed. There was some regulation issue regarding it, but it would actually randomly restart. You can set it up to randomly restart your router. And, you know, so not to go too much into the technical side of things, but the router itself, when you go, you get your internet, right? You get your modem box. I know a lot of the modem boxes nowadays, they have the wireless, everything built into it. So, the router does a lot of jobs in one device. It's routing, but many people think, oh, it's just a router. That's it. It's not. It's routing, basically routing traffic, to put it simply. Then it's also what we call a switch, and a switch is basically just a device where you can plug multiple devices into it to spread out your network, to have more devices connected to your network. Basically, on a home environment, you're basically just getting everybody up online on the internet. Then it has the wireless functionality, so then it's also a wireless, what we call an access point, a wireless access point. So it's handling all these jobs. And it's a small little device. It's not, some of them are pretty light. And generally, rule of thumb, if it's heavier, bigger, the better. But a lot of them are small, lightweight, and they're handling multiple jobs. And generally, to put it quite simply, if we look at a enterprise or like a corporation's type of network, all these jobs are broken up into different devices, and so that's what I have at my home. So what I do is I have a modem, and all its job is just to be a modem. The signal comes in from, I have Xfinity. Signal comes in from Xfinity, and the modem then plugs into my router. Now, the router I have is just a router. It has no wireless capabilities. I can't plug in multiple devices to it. It's just a router. Then from the router, it goes off into a switch. And it's just a switch. That's it. So from there, I plug in multiple devices, multiple other computers. My Roku's plugged into it. And then off the switch, I have two wireless access points. So, and then that's my network. That's my home network. I mean, I don't have like a crazy big home, so I don't need that much more than that. But that's my home network, and I did that because of the pandemic, and because we were going to be at home more, and we all needed solid networking, and turning on and off this router and constant issues. I was like, all right, that's it. I'm going full enterprise level network here, so that way I never have any issues. That way I can never say it's my network is the issue. And let me tell you something, it's been rock solid ever since. So, a little bit of technical talk here, or computer talk. That's what I did at my home. Now, not everybody's going to be able to do that. Not everybody's necessarily going to have the space to do that. A lot of the equipment I'm talking about is generally large, so it's not something that you can hide behind a TV or anything like that. And generally, just a rule: you don't really want to have too many electronics concentrated in one area, like your wireless, your router, basically your home router that you would buy from somewhere. Generally, you don't want it around other electronics. There could be interference there. Generally, it's pretty good, modern ones, but you want to have it somewhere in a centralized location in your home, so that way all your devices, kind of have an equal distance, even though it's all wireless and all that. But Wi-Fi, I keep saying in general, but stop saying that. Wi-Fi is incredibly unreliable. But the way I have it set up, I have multiple access points, wireless access points, so my house is pretty well covered from my backyard. Like, I can go probably down the block and still have a connection but I'm a little crazy when it comes to technology and and having a rock solid connection. So all that to say is that eBay might not be slow. It could be your home network that's causing it slow. That's creating the issue as far as your search being slow, or your upload time being slow, or your pictures that you're taking getting all up into your listing slow. It's probably more than likely not eBay's problem. It could be your problem. Home networking is incredibly unreliable. So if any of you are into computer networking or have a little bit more knowledge than just the basics, I would recommend trying to go out there, see what you can do to possibly set up what's called more like an enterprise level or corporation level type of network. It's a lot more reliable. I'm telling you, I've had, since I've done that, I had maybe one day, and it was literally probably like 10 minutes of downtime, and that was it. And then everything works. It's been rock solid since the pandemic, mind you. Okay, enough technical talk, because this is not a technical or not a computer channel. It's just I like talking about computers. If anybody wants to chat with me about computers, or comment down below. I'm gonna start including my my Instagram in here, so you guys can always DM me. I don't have that many people DMing me because I don't have a very big channel. So right now is probably a good time. If you have any questions and you need any help, anything like that, send them to me now. My Instagram will be in the description as well too. It's the same. It's just Gem Flipper on Instagram, but it has a underscore in between Gem and Flipper. Okay, so we talked about possible internet issues, internet connections, or networking connections at your house. And it's always quick. It's always easy to pass the blame. If anybody has children, let me tell you one thing. When I tell them what happened here, what fell this, what is it, what's going on here, the first thing that comes on, I don't know, ask so and so. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, how does nobody know? How does nobody know what happened? How does nobody know that thing fell? How does nobody know that glass broke? It's always ask this person, ask this person. There's not that many people in our house, so, and I'm the one asking the questions. It can't be me, because I'm the one that's asking. But I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of passing the blame. I had a full-time job, and everybody passes the blame. Over there, everybody's like, it's that person's problem, that person's problem. I worked at a hospital. I mean, I still guess currently work at a hospital. But it's always, well, what happened here? Well, I don't know. Ask that person. I didn't, I have nothing to do with that. It's not me. And then that person, I don't know. And then at that point, the original person that is inquiring is getting frustrated because the only answer you're getting is you're passing it down the line. It's not me. It's that person. It's not that person. It's this person. So try to be more of a problem solver instead of just constantly passing the blame. One thing I would do, and it was because I had, at my, when I worked directly at the hospital, and in my old position, I had, quite a bit of years there. And so this is already after my my stint in IT and computers, which I got burnt out at. It was so I was doing something incredibly different than I was working on a computer, but I was doing something incredibly different than computers. But I had a lot of connections because I'd been at the hospital for a long time, and so I was able, to use my problem-solving skills. I went to school to be a computer engineer. I used my skills as a problem solver to help get to the root of problems, because I don't like one thing don't like is, just settling on the issue and dwelling on the issue or dwelling on the problem. I like to get to the solution. What's the solution? I prefer more dwell on a solution, dwell on fixing the issue. Now, obviously, if the issue is out of your hands, there's really nothing you can do, but do everything possible that you can, so that way, you're not technically not the problem and can actually pass the blame without a guilty conscience, I guess. But focus on the problem, the solution. See if you can solve the problem, yourself. Obviously, if it's on somebody else's side, you can't reach out and try to fix fix the problem that person is having. So, but try not to pass the blame. And plus, with everybody, with all the information that's getting passed around, you don't really know what's fact and what's not fact. The only facts I know is what I'm doing. I know what I'm sourcing. I know what I'm listing. I know how I'm listing. So, I mean, I worry about yourself and worry about what you can control. Because I'm seeing other people, get banned. Other people's listings getting taken down. I don't even really know if that actually happened. Is it clickbait? I don't know. I can't say with 100% certainty. Some people obviously come across as genuine, but you really don't know. You don't have the facts. And I'm very big on having the facts. So, passing the blame. And the next thing I want to talk about is about becoming emotionally attached to your stuff, to all your merchandise and everything. So don't get so hung up on the items that you have, and either people saying you don't have great items, and then getting mad about it. There's no reason for it. If that's someone's opinion, you can't really get mad at someone's opinion, but it might be coming from a place of of knowledge, of working knowledge. Consider it constructive criticism. Obviously, how it comes across is, if someone just says your stuff is crap, obviously, that's not really necessarily constructive. But tell me why. Explain to me why that item's not going to work, why that item's not going to sell. Don't just say, this is, your store is junk and your store is full of junk. It's never going to sell. Help. Be constructive. And don't get so hung up on the price of your items. Remember, you bought these items to sell, to make money. You want to get rid of them. You want to make a profit. I think I've said this before. Any profit is good profit. And sometimes it's just about getting the money back that you originally invested in that item, so that way you can buy items that will actually sell. And then depending upon your business model, whether you're into more long tail items or short tail items, you want to get items in, whether it's short term or long term, you still want to make a profit. So you want to get items in that will actually make you a good profit, or a profit that you want to be at. I prefer to be somewhere around 15 to 20. You've seen some items I picked up. I know sometimes they're not in that range. Sometimes they're a little bit lower. But sometimes I look at, sometimes when I'm buying items, I'm looking more at the what do you call it? The overall cost, as opposed to just the individual item. Or if it's a fast seller, if I'm going to make, $10 really quick, I'll take that. If I buy like a bunch of items in bulk, and I'm going to make like maybe $5 each, but I have like 50, 60, 70, who knows? I have a whole bunch of them. That's pretty good profit overall. So being emotionally attached, being angry when somebody, calls out your stuff, or, being like, or being, feeling attacked, or feelings of how dare you offer me such a low price for my item. that's what someone's willing to pay for it. So I mean, don't take offense to somebody who is trying to negotiate a better deal for themselves. Would you try to negotiate a better deal for yourself? I mean, we do it all the time as resellers. I mean, we're out there. Obviously, at if you're going to like Goodwill, I mean, there's not really much negotiation there. There are instances where you could potentially negotiate a better price, but that comes with, yeah, I would say a little bit of. You would need to be a little bit familiar with the people there. You would need to be probably a regular buyer there. Flea markets, negotiation is always a thing at the flea market. Garage sales, you can always negotiate. So you're always negotiating. Don't get upset if somebody wants to negotiate with you through on eBay. Don't get so hung up, and don't be like, this is my stuff. You bought it to sell. You bought it to make money on. If you want to keep it. Then it's yours. If you're gonna hold on to it, then hold on to it. If you're not ready to sell it, then hold on to it forever. But don't complain about buyers, about consumers, wanting to negotiate with you, or don't complain about people who maybe they're trying to help in a in a positive manner or constructive manner, but don't get so upset if someone's calling your stuff out and being like, hey, especially if it's especially if they're kind of doing their homework and they actually look at your items, and maybe they go on eBay, they look at sales history, and there's really nothing there. Then they might be right. You might have crap. I might have crap. I know I have crap. I know. I go through my stuff all the time, and if it's not selling, it's gone. It's crap to me. But don't get emotionally attached to the items that you buy to put online for sale. It's not eBay's fault that your items aren't getting seen. It's probably that nobody wants them. Nobody wants my crap. But I've had some great sales. If you see some of my shorts, I had a great this past Friday. We had about 20 sales within a 24-hour period. So sales are good. And I want everybody to enjoy some great sales, and hopefully this information will help you guys get some great sales. And then which I was going to say leads me to the next topic, but I don't really know how that leads me to the next topic, because the next topic and last topic I want to discuss is, do not believe what worked last year is going to work this year. Trust me, things can change incredibly quickly. I still believe that people, consumers, businesses, everything, they're still adjusting to a post-pandemic world. Now, during the pandemic, there were a lot of, it was the first time for a lot of people, everybody. I don't know, I mean, I think it was like a flu pandemic, but I don't think anything shut down back in the teens, I think. I don't know. I don't even know when there was a pandemic. No one knew what to do. A pandemic came. No one knew what to do. Everybody was in a state of either panic or kind of like, oh, frozen. What do we do? What are we going to do? Whatever. And I think, there was a rush to put everybody at home, get everybody, isolated. And what do we need when we're at home and we're working? Technology. So I think a lot of these companies that pay well, which are primarily tech companies, I know there's a lot of companies that pay well, but I know a lot of tech companies that pay well, probably really, we're like, we got to get people in, we got to start, we got a ton new customers. I know there were shortages in tech and in computer chips and production of computer components. There was even a shortage of cameras, because everybody was doing, we were on Teams, or whether you're on Zoom, there was a shortage. The camera prices were spiked. Internet cameras were spiked. So, all these companies hired really quickly, and to try to get people in to try to help them, either further develop their software for telecommuting, or production and everything.
And then now we're in post-pandemic, and a lot of that stuff isn't, the 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 need, the high demand, I should say, the high demand has now dipped, and now a lot of these people are letting people go. So all that to say is, yeah. Oh, then there was stimulus money. There was money from stimulus, and people were still getting paid, but they were at home, and so there was still a lot of money. There was a lot of money, basically, people had. A lot of consumers had more money, more cash on hand, and so what did they do? You have more cash on hand. You start consuming. You're stuck at home, so you can't spend that going anywhere. So what are you going to do? Start accumulating stuff. So it created, I think, the pandemic created a sort of unrealistic, consumer environment, and online, of course, because nobody could go anywhere. Now we're trying to adapt to a post-pandemic, and there are layoffs. Companies are having layoffs. I know the hospital I work for, I know they're struggling with money, with earnings, and a lot of companies are, and a lot of companies are laying off. So we have to take that into consideration. We have to think that what happened a year ago, 2 years ago, that might not apply to this year. Not only that, but trends change. People, what people are wearing, it changes. What people are into, just what people, the video game craze. Are people at home playing video games anymore? No, a lot more people are out taking vacations now. Everybody feels a lot more safe, visiting family, so people aren't stuck at home. So those prices are dipping. The shoe market. I know. I told you guys I stopped buying. A lot of shoes. I'm still buying a few shoes here and there that are worth it. But as far as how many shoes I have on hand, it's nowhere near the level that I used to have, and I already stopped. Adjusted that to stop buying shoes. So, and I cleared out a whole bunch of shoes on Whatnot too. So, you got to be aware of what is occurring in the world. Yeah, you can't just be like, well, this worked last year, or this worked 2 years ago, or I've been doing this for 5, 10, 15 years. Why should I change? Because the world has changed. I mean, we went through a whole pandemic a few years ago. We're in post-pandemic mode still, so we're still adjusting. There's a war going on still. A lot of people don't realize that there's a war going on, a huge war. There's a lot of stuff happening in the world, and that has an effect. Whether it doesn't matter where you are. You can ship things all over the world. People are buying all over the world, and some people can buy, some people can't. So you can't be stuck with old, trying to operate with old knowledge in a modern, can't operate with your old knowledge right now. That makes sense. I wonder if I hope that made sense. But don't use any old knowledge. Well, scrap the idea. Don't. What worked I think this is a better saying. What worked several years ago might not work this year. Which is why I'm always preaching to please check your comps. Every time you find something that might be good, maybe you'll be like, hey, I sold this like 3 years ago. Let me go ahead and check and see if it's currently selling. Check the comps. Is it currently selling? Is it selling for a price where you can make a good profit on it? You're going to have to look that up. You're still going to have to do your research. I know a lot of people talk about being niche down and just being an expert in that category, so that way you don't have to be looking stuff up. I don't agree. I don't 100% agree with that. I agree you still need to be looking stuff up to see what is happening, to see where the shift in consumer buying is going. Is it still with this style of clothing? Is it still with are people still buying video games? Are people still buying shoes? Are they paying? What are they paying for these items now? There's a lot. People. I know a lot of people that got laid off, so not a lot of people have the extra cash to be, spending on dunks. I keep showing these dunks in my videos because they're still here. I haven't sold yet. That's why they're still stuck. Are they bad? This is a bad buy. Well, I only spent $10 on them, so is that a crappy buy? I don't know. Is it a crappy item? I don't think it is. It's dunks, but if someone offered me $30 for them right now at my store, I'd probably accept that and get rid of them. But it'll still be good profit for me because of the price point that I bought it at. So check your comps. Please check your comps. That's the number one thing I could say. Well, actually, that's probably the number two thing I would say, because I think I've said the most important thing is one of the most important things you can do is not spend anything. Not buy. Don't buy junk. Oh, did my chair just go down? I think my chair just went down. I'm on a little chair. I actually got this chair from the hospital. It's actually quite comfortable. It's kind of like a saddle-ish chair. So either way, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Enough of me talking. I need to get some water, something to drink. But I am going to link my Instagram starting with this post today. And if you guys have any questions, you can post them in the comments. You can DM me if you want. And I'll try to help the best I can. I'm not a big time YouTuber yet, or a big time influencer, so I could probably see your question and answer it. Otherwise, I'm thinking of probably be doing some lives maybe soon. Well, probably once we hit that 500 mark, have a decent enough people that may or may not be a decent enough people who are following me that may be interested in a live show. So otherwise, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Oh, I forgot. Thank you guys. Thank you, new subscribers. I appreciate a thumbs up. And I already said comment down below. But we'll see you guys in the next video.